Kia ora, everybody. No mai hara mai. It's Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori this week, so make sure you're throwing your kia oras out everywhere you go. Here with me today, we've got Ruth Copeland from, she's the co-founder of she is one of the co-founders from the Resonance app that we've talked about before. We've had a chat with Ruth before, and I thought we'd have a chat with her and see how the Resonance app is getting on. How's it going, Ruth?
Oh, kia ora, Zeb. Hey, thank you so much for having me back on here again. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Resonance app is still rides again. And, we're just continually building, every day we're getting more and more listings coming in. So the word is getting out there. So, with the thanks to people like you,
great.
We can get
the word. Awesome. So has it grown much since we last spoke?
It hasn't grown a tremendous amount. We haven't done any publicity. What's happened, Zeb, in the last month is our developers have introduced a new IT system, if you like. They've changed quite a bit of the functionality, improved, in fact. But what that's meant is there have been quite a few bugs. And until all those bugs have been ironed out, we weren't keen to do a lot of promotion. So it sort of meant a bit of a bit of a go slow in terms of the promo, but of course, there's always plenty to do in the background. So but it just seems to be ticking along, which is amazing. We haven't given it a push for a while, so this will be one of the first pushes for a wee while, this live now. And so just every day there's sort of 4 or 5 listings coming in, and it's just slowly growing. So we're excited.
So speaking about ironing out the kinks and the bugs, I did notice one small issue because I remember we spoke last time. I told you that I just made a couple of listings on the app and I was seeing how they were going. One thing I did notice that concerned me a little bit was the fact that it gave out my cell phone and email to anyone who wanted it, rather than being able to send an email through the app without giving out those details.
Yes, no, it's not a
still a thing?
Absolutely, it's not a secure platform. No, we believe wholeheartedly that we have protection in some way, because we know that this app is needed, and it was needed. And I think I might have explained in our last podcast, Zeb, that the actual inspiration for it came almost serendipitously through a knowledge that we held for years before anything happened with it. I can tell the story again, but perhaps your viewers have already heard it, so I don't want to repeat it. But we have a really we're working within the existing technology. We're quite out there in terms of accessible. So if anybody wants to come and scrutinize, or if anybody wants to dig deep within the Resonance app, they're not going to find anything there that that is going to be harmful to anybody. And also, we just, we're in a world of technology. There's all kinds of technology, and we need to be able to use that technology in order to further our cause. And the cause of Resonance app is really about creating the future.
So by way of listings, have you noticed any sort of listings that have kind of piqued your interest on there? Have there been any funny, weird?
There are so many interesting, fascinating listings on here. It's really incredible to understand the caliber of talent in this country and the things that people are turning their mind to. Absolutely extraordinary. There's so many people like you and I as well, Zeb, that have it on their hearts really to connect the collective, to get everybody working together. Different kind of initiatives like the People's Health Alliance. I'm sure you've heard of them. There's a whole lot of organisations and individuals around the country and around the world who are really focusing now on experimentation with new systems of economy, new systems of politics, but also within our own lives. What are we going to do? What are we going to turn our hands to for future money and or trade or whatever that might look like? So Resonance is, rather than being specifically about the freedom movement, it was sparked and catalysed by the freedom movement, but really the picture is much, much bigger than that. We're all about bringing the collective together in a heart-centered way, in a heart space. And as I'm saying that, my heart is sort of, I've got a bit of sensation going on there, which is a really cool thing. It's kind of the more and more people I'm speaking to, and also people, particularly people in the freedom movement, is that many of us are sort of driven from a heart space. We sort of have a knowledge really that this is what is needed and this is the future, and it's really up to us now to start experimenting about how we can recreate society. No mean feat. The reason is just a drop in the bucket, of connecting all those people to each other. But it's a really important first step in terms of getting to know each other and what each other offers and our own specialities, and, on a local level. So, yeah, it's exciting as heck, Yeah, it's really cool. What the Resonance app does is it's basically, for our listeners out there, it's an app like a big telephone book, really. So you're trading or anything like that doesn't happen within the app itself. It's just a way to locate people and
connect each other,
So it's New Zealand wide, but it shows you at the top of each category. We've got 18 categories in there at the moment. At the top of each one, it will show you the listing that is closest to where you are geographically located at the moment. So in that way, it shows you the people in your neighbourhood or the people in your area that are on the same page and in resonance. And we know implicitly what that applies. It's almost self-selecting. It's those of us who consider ourselves pretty awake and not comfortable with the direction the world is going at the moment.
I tell you what, it's a good time to be awake. It really is.
Well, you got to be, you got to be. And so many of us, like you, Zeb, have got that, that understanding that the future looks very different that it's time to connect on a personal level. So in terms of the listings in the app, we would love people to use it to find each other. They can just ring each other through the app or email or whatever they like, and then they can carry on their business outside of the Resonance app. It's not up to us to sort of click the ticket on the way through. It's really about putting people.
Sorry, you've frozen a bit there, Ruth, but I think what you were saying is it's about connecting people. So basically just making those connections so that people can share their knowledge and ideas and whatnot. I think that's where you were going. You're still frozen, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, that is a shame.
There you go. No, you're back. You're back. Great.
I don't know what that's about. My apologies if it's my connection.
No worries at all.
Yeah, so it's just really, I was just explaining the local community building aspect of the Resonance app. That's what it's all about. It's about building local networks.
Yeah. Now, just for those who may be watching or listening now who missed our last interview, could you just give a really brief overview of what the Resonance app is about?
Absolutely. What I'll do, I think, Zeb, if that's okay, I'll screen share. And is that good? Yep. And if somebody actually, how do I do this? If it's not working for the viewers out there, if someone could let us know, that would be great, because we haven't tried this before. So I'm going to hit screen share, and then I'm going to choose the screen and share the screen. And then I'm going back to my desktop. And I'll open the PowerPoint. And it says we're sharing, so we're just going to kind of crack on with this.
Bring it in now. There we go. So we've got the screen there. The Resonance app.
Yeah, so it's talking about a new way for like-minded Kiwis to connect, trade with, and inspire each other, location-based and free. So that inspiration piece is really important to us. Yeah, so we've got a bulletin, in fact, within the Resonance app, which is shares articles and podcasts. Everything about Yeah. No, it's a key part of it. It's everything about eyes off the old and into the new, and everything around.
I didn't know it did podcasts. That is really cool.
Yes, it's got everything in there, and we're open, like everything within the app. We want people to contribute. So you just hit the button and say submit your bulletin, and you can put something in there yourself that inspires you and share it with all of us.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's very cool. Everything sort of about new ways of living and holism and health and some spiritual stuff in there, and really practical stuff about earth building and permaculture and People's Self-Alliance and stuff like that. So you'll find that all in the bulletin on the Resonance app. That's the inspirational piece. But cracking on, so it basically looks like this, a simple app. It's got a whole lot of categories here at the front, and you can see some of our categories here. It's basically, I've got here, developing a parallel marketplace and preparing for a transition to a more resource-based economy. So we were thinking there is, we might connect with a time bank, and people might just trade time through the Resonance app. You do this for me.
That.
Well, we've got to figure it out, don't we? We don't know, we don't know what it's going to look like, but that's an example of a listing. So obviously we've got produce in there, and some somebody with some eggs have put their produce in. And that's sort of an example of what it looks like. You know, we're looking at services at the moment, and you'll see the listings, like I mentioned before, that are near you will be displayed first. And you can also search as well, the additional search up there if you'd like to search for something, a service, a particular type of service or a particular location. And then there's a map down the bottom here that will show you where all these services are located in New Zealand. It'll just pop up a map there.
Nice.
And here's a typical listing as well. So you've got links here to the phone or email or a website, and there's also a route planner down the bottom so you can actually drive to their house.
It even gives you Google Maps in there.
Yeah, it does. And so these are some of the categories. So you can read them all, I'm sure. Health and Deb, nobody's saying that they can't see it. Can they see it, our viewers?
I'm pretty sure everybody can see it. It's up on our screen, so they can see what we can see.
Excellent. That's great. So we've got health. There's a huge amount of health listings in there because obviously a lot of health practitioners were among the first to sort of resist, if you like, the attempts. The fairly successful attempts at getting us all corralled. But anyway, lots of practitioners in there. We've also got interesting things like green fairies are in there. We've got lots of... well, we have, because there's a whole lot of people that offer services, and there's the midwives are in there as well, and medical practitioners and COVID support, all that kind of thing, but also a lot of body work and that kind of thing. But anyway, I better not talk for too long because there's so many different categories. We've got, I've got romance. We've got romance in there. Connect is finding friends on the same page, friends in resonance. And then produce, obviously, really important as we walk forward into the future, getting enough food.
Yes. Now, that is a section I need to get back on there and check out because I'd really like to find some produce in my area. That looks really good.
Yep. And then we've got land share. That's interesting. That's about people who are got land that they'd like to share with us. Yep. And then people looking for land, and then things around permaculture, farms and animals, anything to do with land, really. Services is really broad. So anything that any of us do, put a listing in services and we can use each other, first and foremost. It's important to support each other in our small business endeavours. We've got your tradies in there, and then jobs, of course. It was pretty important with mandates, where jobs that were and then people looking for, and then the shop. And, of course, we've got events as well, which is, that's a growing section. And there's more. There's lots of spiritual stuff. Yeah, there's readings and healing, all that kind of stuff. Accommodation's really cool. So that's, for me, I've got a room in my house on there, come and stay with me. And when someone comes, you know that they're going to be in resonance with the way you're thinking and feeling. And you can make a little bit of extra money. It's cool.
Yeah.
When you're going around the country, you can stay with people that are going to be on the same page wherever you go. So, again, that's a very useful little category, that one. There's self-contained places there as well.
Yeah.
Then you've got your markets, farmers markets, and then you've got a couple here around politics and economy. So what is it going to look like? What are the options politically? And so there we've got listings from, represented parties, political parties, and also, some alternative economy solutions. Education, we've got some good relationships with the homeschooling people. And so there's...
wow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all in there.
Oh. The
common law assemblies are in there for people that want to join common law and understand more about our rights and sovereignty. And then practical things like eating and drinking. Where will I go around New Zealand when and even though, we've lost the mandates at the moment, those businesses that stood up, we need to know who they are and who to support,
I agree 100%. I will be supporting those businesses for the rest of
we need to, absolutely. And arts and music's the same. We've got lots of artists in there and DJs, musicians, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So the bulletin. So here it is. It's the bulletin I was speaking about. So this is for everybody to use. Parallel economies, free energy, disruptive technologies, organic principles, all of this sort of really positive stuff. Health and rejuvenation, embodied spirituality, eco-housing, and more. And then that's us. There's the three of us. A lovely photo of my two partners. It's Ewan and Marnie, and Ewan I met on the beach, and he said, I wish we had an app and I just happened to have one idle sitting on the shelf for a couple of years that was ready. And I knew it was going to be used for this too. That was the story I told at the beginning. So we are basically a non-profit. We're completely voluntary. This is for everybody. So we're welcoming your ideas for development, but your listings are absolutely crucial. So we really, really need everybody who's interested in the resident list on it, because even if you're not trying to sell something, maybe even just a listing like find a friend or a room in your house, or because what happens
anything really, it looks like. You could find anything on there from what it looks like. Hey, is it just me, or have more categories been added since I last looked?
Probably not. But what we have had is we have had an IT upgrade. So those people that download it now will get the most recent version. And there's still a couple of bugs in there, nothing too crucial, but we do still have a few bugs in there. So we're waiting, hopefully in the next couple of days, it'll all be clean and clear, and then I'll send out a notification to our users that they need to upgrade. Just a little bit. I'll finish that subject first. Actually, I'll stop sharing. Yes, so the upgrade is very exciting because we're going to go to a browser-based version as well. So you'll be able to, at the moment, it's on your phone, but it's going to be on your laptop as well, which will make it a lot easier. Some people don't want to have smartphones, and so they'll be able to use the Resonance app just as like a normal website. The other thing too to mention at the moment for anyone downloading the app that is currently only available on a phone, if you download it, you can still enter your listings on our website, resonance.kiwi. So
okay.
Put your listings in the form on the website if working on a phone is too small, you know. Yeah, and there was something in that slide as well that I would like to mention. That is, we run on koha only.
Yes, well done.
So we would love anybody who feels inspired to go on our website and get the bank account number and send some koha in our direction. We'd be very, very grateful. We've spent more than $20,000 on this product so far, and huge amount of man hours, as you can imagine, the three of us.
I can, yes.
Yeah, so it's been a huge job, and we really would love that support from the wider community if this resonates with people.
For sure. And hey, you guys at home, you know, if you haven't already downloaded this app, today looks like a great day to do it.
Absolutely.
And Ruth, I have met a few times now. Last time I saw Ruth, it was at that protest down in Wellington, wasn't it?
It was a great day.
It was the TFRC protest that was down there recently, yes. And I did meet Ewan as well. Ewan came up and said hi. So it was really cool to meet him as well. Really cool people. And very genuine connection between you guys, I can see. And so, you know, whānau at home, these guys are full on into the freedom movement, and they definitely deserve our support. So if you've got room for an extra app on your phone, this is it.
Oh, absolutely. And it goes beyond the freedom movement, as most of your listeners will understand, because yes, we're standing for freedom and sovereignty, but we're standing for so much more, and we are the pioneers. Yes. We're the pioneers of the future. So yes, we can sit around complaining about the government, but hell, there's way more important things to get on with. And we've got a little reprieve, which is a big celebration for everybody. You know, the pressure obviously has made a difference and made an impact, and that's great. And so we do have a bit of a reprieve to really get going, but I really think we can't rest on our laurels at all. We really need to, with the economic shifts that are going to come down the pipeline fairly soon, we really need to get our platform secure and stable so that people can start connecting with each other and start developing those ideas and that trading platform, so that we can just feel a little bit much more secure, you know.
So at the moment, Resonance is a New Zealand only app. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Any plans to expand in future?
Well, yeah, actually, because so we've got to get this IT running perfectly the way we want it. But yeah, we've had a couple of interests from elsewhere. We've had interest from England, and we've had interest from India. And and we're having a conversation next week with an organisation who are doing a fairly similar thing in Australia. So we just, and again, we're just so open to collaboration. We're not trying to make a huge, killing. In fact, as this is a non-profit, so if people do donate, they need to know that any donations made will go fully into operational costs and that only. And let's just say we did, manage to expand it in these hubs, and they got bigger, and and it was beyond New Zealand. Any income that we receive through the Resonance non-profit, any surplus we will invest in other initiatives, so other new world hubs, let's call it, other incredible people doing stuff that is going to make a difference in the future. We would love to support all of those initiatives, and in that way support each other. So that's our long-term vision.
Yeah, it's all about supporting each other, isn't it? So, not everything has to have a financial interaction.
No,
not everything.
It totally doesn't. And, that's why I was saying before, I think we've got some people in Christchurch at the moment developing a time bank app, which is interesting. So it's an app.
Interesting.
It is. So you do something and you qualify your time in there rather than like a bank, isn't it? So you put your deposit in of 50 hours, and that means you've got 50 hours to take out. I mean, it's pretty basic, isn't it?
Well, that might be something for us to look forward to in future. We'll keep an eye out for it.
I think people need to sort of know about these things. So they've been developing for many years, but we may be in the position fairly soon where we actually can start using them and seeing how they roll. So we're open to or everything new world, everything new creation, and everything heart-centered. More as much as anything, because that's what we're sort of navigating as well, a way to sort of deal with life sort of a bit different. See, there's our logo.
Beautiful one. I've got one of those. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So now you live down in the Wellington region, is that right?
Right, I'm in Wellington. Yep.
Cool. Just wondering where I'm coming to stay when I book your room.
Oh, no, absolutely. And right on the coast as well. Seriously, Zeb, it's gorgeous. I live right on the I've got to show you. It's just too outrageous. I'm so lucky.
Let's plug in and we'll show off Ruth's beautiful home that she's got on the Resonance app. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. It looks like there might even be room to park a bus.
Yep, there is. Look, across the road. Look, there's this huge car park. Look, on the ocean. Where is it? Where's the car park? There it is.
Over there. Oh, there. Yep, I see it. Oh, well, there you go. I just have to come park my bus and walk across the road and order.
Yeah, so whenever I get a bit blue or just think, oh my God, what am I doing? As we all do, like, is this I know it's the right thing to do, but at times it's like, wow, this is a bit edgy. It's on the edge. And how am I going to make money? And and then I just look at my beautiful life and think, wow, I'm okay actually, and I'm being taken care of, and I do have the support. But so many people out there, I think that's one of the biggest things for us at the moment as a collective is to reach out to each other, and and out of isolation, because there's huge worries, even mandates drop. When we just look internationally and see what's happening, there's huge fear at the moment on the planet. There's huge uncertainty. And so many of us have been going through so many changes this year, and things that we thought we could count on aren't there anymore, or ways of being that we were used to are gone. A lot of letting go, a lot of loss, and I think that in that process, it's so important to have somewhere to connect.
Yes. And well, you've done an amazing job providing a platform to do just that.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Yeah, that's why we call it Resonance, and we want all of those that feel called to be in resonance to come and present themselves by putting a listing in.
Or it looks like, gotcha. Sorry, you're freezing off and on again, Ruth, but I think we've just about covered everything. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about before we cut this off?
No, that's it. Let's just stay in resonance. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all that information, and I really appreciate the update of the Resonance app, because I have been wondering how you guys have been getting on and how's it going, but you've just given me that motivation to jump straight back on there and see all the new listings, see what's out there. So thank you.
And update it, Zeb. If you've got the old one, just update it, go back to the App Store or the Google Play and grab the newer version. Yeah, and you get the latest. Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
awesome. Well, great talking to you, Ruth. Thanks
Thank
so much for coming on and having a chat. I really appreciate
very
it.
well. Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Bye.